The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. For the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and our growing family of broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, India, Africa, and Europe. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. X Zone Nation, one of the people I had the pleasure of meeting this past weekend as I did the Body, Soul, and Spirit Expo in Toronto was a lady who talked about crystal healing resonance and the process of enlightenment. Now, her name is Margherita Vondrak. And first of all, Margherita, welcome to the X Zone. It's a great pleasure having you with us, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about crystals and everything else that you do over the next hour.
Well, that's very wonderful. I really took a liking to you right away when I met you, so there is a joint resonance there for sure.
How did you get started working with crystals, Margherita?
Yes, that is an amazing story. Of course, I was drawn to work with crystals since the age of 2, and I sort of wanted to pick up some pebbles when we were traveling to a lake or to an island, and my mother said, you could not bring more stones because this boat will sink if we're going to take on more rocks. So that's how it all started, but the real awakening came after I joined the Gem Show, or the Gem Club in Scarborough. Mm-hmm. And they had some rock auctions and silent auctions and stuff. And there was a little piece of labradorite. And I had just got or rented this cutting or this polishing machine. And I brought this little tiny 50-cent piece, I think it was, home. And I decided I'm gonna polish that. See what it is. I was just obsessed with it. And then I polished it, and as perhaps some people know that have seen crystals and minerals, labradorite is an amazing blue sheen in good specimens. And so this little pebble-like specimens, I got up a really good shine and both sides, and then I just sat down and I looked at that. And, when you're transformed, you feel like you're falling down between a portal between two realities, much like Alice in Wonderland, falling in this mirror.
Yes.
Wow. I had no idea that was the result of my obsession. So that's how I started. Because then, after that, I was looking for what in all worlds did happen to me and why did I experience these things. So that's how I started.
All right, Margherita, please stand by. You and I have to take our first commercial break. X Zone Nation. Margherita Vondrak is my very special guest this hour. www.thecrystallotus.com. That's www.thecrystallotus.com. And I'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break talking more about, we're going to be talking about crystals, and we're also going to be talking about healings here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell. Once again, toll free worldwide, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. X Zone Nation, if you'd like to get an ad in the June edition of the X Chronicles newspaper, please send an email to publisher at xchronicles-newspaper.com. The deadline is coming very soon. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits, and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Are you interested in the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, or psychic phenomenon? Join me, Tim Bartley, co-host of Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, coming mid-January 2017 to the XZBN. We will channel spirits live and talk to them, revealing all kinds of amazing information. Spiritual attachments will be found and removed on the show, and so much more. To find out when you can listen to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, visit www.xzbn.net for listeners on both sides of the veil.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone Radio Show. We're coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. 1-800-610-7035 worldwide, toll free. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is Margherita. We're talking about crystals, and if you'd like more information on Margherita, maybe you'd like to contact her for a one-on-one session. Her website is www.thecrystallotus.com. That's www.thecrystallotus.com. How can crystals help people throughout their lives, Margherita?
Well, take this simile. If you have something dirty, you take or a jewelry piece or something like that. You can take a sonic cleaner. It vibrates, right?
Yes.
And it shakes things up, and dirt comes off. And then when you take out your pieces of jewelry out of this sonic cleaner, they're sparkling. You rinse them off and dry them and then wear them. So why I'm mentioning that is crystals have signature vibration. Each of the healing stones that we use exhibit a specific vibrational rate. So when we're working with that, and usually the one crystals that we are drawn to is exactly what we need. So we have an affinity to that which can help us. So, and that's brilliant in nature, actually. So when we're drawn to this rose quartz, for example, we know that we need to work on our self-love level. And it brings up those issues for us to work through. So it's like you're looking yourself in the mirror. Oh, I didn't brush my hair today. Maybe I'll brush my hair. Or in energetic terms, my aura is kind of distorted and I'm leaking energy, or I'm giving away too much energy to other people and stuff like that. So it can alert us to what we have to work on. So that's basically how crystals help us. And we have to do the work. They just alert us to bring us to awareness where we have to work.
Margherita, can you give us some examples of the different types of crystals and how they can help someone in a self-healing mode?
Yes. Let's say you just broke up with your boyfriend. You're very sad and hurt. Okay, so when we work with crystal, the first thing we do in crystal healing is to say, okay, so whatever happens in our life is something that we have attracted. Now, we can use the stones and the crystals to help us release those energies. So in the case of this breakup, for example, the rose quartz I mentioned would be a good stone to help us to stay, I'm worthy even though that this guy left, right? And then we have support in actually holding the stone or being with the stone and having the stone in a piece of jewelry. But also when this crystal is in our aura, it affects it. So it vibrates. And we can't maybe feel it right away or at all, but still there is a subtle vibration. And those energy blocks in our heart, for example, in this case, may open up. It may be like a cathartic release, perhaps, but afterwards you're free. And so the persons who are open to work with their healing journey can take advantage of crystals and stones to help them remove some of these blocked energies that stops them from manifesting what they want. So that's one example.
How can a crystal help somebody who has, everybody's under a lot of stress these days. It's a fast world, and I don't think we were made to work and produce and to do everything at the pace we're doing right now. How can a crystal help us to maintain a better balance?
Yes. I'm glad you asked that, Rob, because something that's needed in this fast-paced world is peace, tranquility, and meditation. So when you take maybe a palm-sized piece of crystal, let's say a quartz crystal, just set it in front of you, and then you sit down and relax in your chair, and you look at this crystal. You soften your gaze, and it's so easy to get into meditation when you have a support of a crystal. It's like you're drawn into its field. And the result is that your heartbeat slows down a bit. You start to breathe. You calm down. You have a little time to process what went on during the day, whatever. And then even just sitting 10 minutes like that will help you immensely.
Exonation, Margherita is our special guest. Her website is www.thecrystallotus.com. So can a crystal help us to better balance our energy fields and to put us in the state of vibration and frequency resonance that we need to be in?
Well, the thing is, with all these microtowers and all these experiments in the atmosphere and so on, it's very difficult to stay grounded and centered. And many people are getting very confused. So the first thing I see when I see a person like that is to say, we need to be grounded, come to center, come to grounding. Because if you're not here, meaning spaced out, right? If you're not here, you can't integrate here very well. And I'll tell you, on the way home today, I saw this truck trailer just completely burned out.
Oh, no.
I don't know if the driver made it or not, but I was thinking sometimes when we fall asleep at the wheel when we're driving, or we are too stressed, we don't see everything, accidents happen. So I always carry a crystal in my car. So that I could tell you, it's like I feel really supported, and I feel like it's like a soft magnetic field, let's say, that is created around this crystal, and I'm safe. I feel my car drives well, and and I'm staying alert, and I rarely fall asleep by the wheel. So that's another example that you can use a crystal for.
Does the crystal interfere, or does the crystal work with the magnetic field around our body that can actually be seen through our auras?
Yeah, definitely. So if your aura is whacked out, blasted, or destroyed in some level, or there's holes there, that can come from trauma, from emotional, what happens to you, or actual physical violence, or maybe even just a psychic attack, which is kind of violent in itself. So the crystal resonates with the earth itself, of course, and that's what it's made into the earth, inside of the earth. And so, for example, quartz resonates very well with the human system. So that means that it tends to help us. There is like this tuning fork that we can use to come to balance. And, of course, the basic chakra balancing layout is all quartz. Like you start on with the clear quartz on the top of your head and the crown, and amethyst and lace agate and rose quartz and citrine and stuff like that, all through to smoky quartz on the bottom of our auric layers. So yeah, it affects us very beneficial. And even if you just have one pocket stone, they also call them worry stones, right? So that is very beneficial.
Are you finding more and more people are turning to New Age philosophies and New Age ways now that the doors are opening and people are much more open to change?
Definitely. Now, I want to say something about the New Age. Crystals really has been along the earth for a long time, and even in past civilizations, crystals has been used. So crystals really don't belong to New Age,
right.
But the New Age, the movement with all this stuff that happens in the 70s and 60s and so on, people rediscovered how you could use crystals, because it opens the third eye, opens our chakras, opens our heart. And when we open our heart, we can see what love really is. When we open our intuition and our third eye, we can see how reality really is. So nobody can put the wool over our eyes any longer. And when we open our root, we can see, who do I serve? Do I work in a beneficial way? It's not just about me and the car and the asphalt. It's also about the whole rest of nature, the plants and animals and stuff like that. So it really brings us to a central focus that, like, we humans are part of it, of nature, and if we don't have support of nature, then we're going to not survive. That's basically it. So, yeah.
I understand that. Margherita, please stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exonation. Interesting conversation with a very nice lady. I had the pleasure of meeting Margherita at the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo this past weekend. Her name is Margherita. Her website is www.thecrystallotus.com. That's www.thecrystallotus.com. And Margherita and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X Zone continues from our studios worldwide Not bad for a little place called Hamilton, Ontario. By the way, the X-Chronicles newspaper for June will be released on June the 20th. And yes, there's still time to get your ads in. Just send an email to publisher at xchronicles-newspaper.com. Margherita and I return in 6 minutes. My name is Rob McConnell.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. 1-800-610-7035 worldwide toll-free. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Don't forget, X-Zone, you can always go to www.xchronicles-newspaper.com/newspaperstand.htm. There are over 44 past editions of the X-Chronicles that are there for you to read online. Free. That's right. That word is free. Gratis, as they say in La Belle Provence and other parts of this beautiful planet of ours. Once again, if you'd like to read past issues as well as the current issues of the X-Chronicles newspaper online, www.xchronicles-newspaper.com/newspaperstand.htm. My guest this hour, X-Zone Nation, is Margherita Vondrak. We're talking about crystals. And Margherita, is it possible to use crystals to attract positive things into your life? And if so, what crystals do that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Rob, because most people these days asking about crystals for abundance, for financial stability, and stuff like that. And yes, I've devised a system called gem codes. It's the images of crystals in a certain configuration, and they are called gem codes, and you can look at that on my website. And that makes crystals available for the masses, because what you do is you work with that image. You really reprogram your mind with that crystal image. So each person who works with crystals, in this image, then I put up a number of crystals in a layout. Now, if you want to just use one crystal that you want to use for creating your abundance, financial stability, for sure there are, for example, citrine, which is also a very clearing stone that you can use, and then you put your intention to what it is you want. And the same thing with healing jewelry, which is also a combination of different stones that is infused and programmed with an intention, for example, for abundance or financial stability. So there is a various ways how you can use these crystals. Another good crystal is pyrite, which is a cubic formation, or also called fool's gold. And we use that a lot for creating money. For example, one time a lady wanted to win this lottery at this convention I attended. It was this very fancy massage table with all the gears and all the stuff in. It was worth about $3,000 something. She came to me and said, "What stones do I need?" So I gave her pyrite and citrine and some black tourmaline, and she got these crystals, and then she sat on that table, and when the draw came, guess what?
She won.
She won.
Wow.
It was just unheard of. I mean, it was this Ontario Massage Therapists Convention in, I think it was Collingwood at that time, some years ago. So that's my best success story. I mean, I was, I just went with it, and I said, wow, she really held that intention. And that's the key. You have to hold your intention yourself, and then the crystal hold that for you, help you. So, yeah, it works.
How about, is it possible for one person to use crystals to heal another person?
Well, the thing is, you cannot heal another person.
You can't.
But you can facilitate another person and help them on their healing journey. You see, you can't heal anybody unless they are doing the healing. If somebody decided that they're not wanting healing, you can't do anything. It's each one of us has to actually do the inner healing. It's like a decision inside. Then other people who help that person do that, then that's okay. But actually, we really can't heal anybody else. We can only work on ourselves that way. But we can use and provide crystals or help, advice, support, friendship, and that will help the person to open up and heal. That is something that is also when somebody's very ill or even dying, and, it's up to that person. It's up to that lifespan of that person and what's written in the sort of book of life, what that person is going to go through. And we can't interfere with that. That person has to decide themselves. But crystals for sure help when you're ready.
As I was going through your very informative website today at www.thecrystallotus.com, I saw something about crystal spas, and I was wondering if you could tell us about crystal spas.
Oh, I am so delighted about that. It came at the end when I was working with my finishing my book. It's a 608 pages document, and it was like an insane journey to finish. And the last chapter was going to be crystal spas. And what it really is an advanced grid. You lay it out on the floor, and it's like it creates an energetic bath. So you lay it. I had the first one I did. I laid it out on a beautiful blanket, and it was staying there for 2 weeks. And every evening after the work, I went in and laid in there. It's like sinking in an incredible energetic bath. So I thought that's a spa, and all I did was going and doing that. I was just wanted to relax and release whatever it was I was working on, and not really heavy duty work, just relax. So that's what I did, and that's what the name, the Crystal Spas, came about. It was amazing. I write the last chapter of my book, The Crystal Lotus Handbook, has 4 spas described.
Now, I also understand that you teach people in one of your books how to make crystal talismans, which can be used as healing jewelry, and they also have healing powers. Tell us about that.
Yes, that's amazing, and I like to work with people who want to empower themselves rather than trying to do something for them, and it's better to teach them how you can do yourself. So actually this weekend coming up, I have a group of people coming out here at my Enchantment Healing Retreat in Kingston to actually learn healing jewelry. And you can wire wrap a piece of stone or put together something. Well, it's going to be a pretty piece maybe, but there is some very interesting things that you can do to actually program and put together the correct combination for the personal intention that the person has. And the personal intention, of course, should never be shared with others unless with a therapist or something, because otherwise you spill out the energy and you lose it, right? So that's why you wear the healing jewelry after it's created for a certain length of time, probably 3 months or something like that. And then you monitor your condition or your intention. And we've had phenomenal results. One lady, for example, who took the advanced course just recently, she's moved. She changed career. She's happy in her life. And she's changed city and occupation. I mean, everything's changed, and she's just going, It's amazing.
How do you stop other people from taking your power, taking your energy?
Well, this is what we do in the course of crystal healing. We learn how to wield our own energy field, because most of us, we sort of waste our time. We have attention all over the place. We're distracted. We don't get focused, right? And that's losing energy. So when you empower yourself, you say, okay, so I have something in my center. I'm going to put the grid around me, or I can work with these stones, for example, black tourmaline, hematite, or clear quartz, I'm going to stay in my field, and you or they're going to stay in your field, and let's remove all these cords that pulls us in all the directions. So in order to do that, like cord cutting, we use something called kyanite, for example. It's a very good stone to use for that. But you have to know how to use it. But when we're cutting these connections to our distractions, you get all of a sudden more focus. You get things done faster, and you get the things done that you want to get done. So it is an amazing process, but it takes some energy awareness, and that's what we do in the crystal healing curriculum. We have beginning to advanced course, 3 courses to teach people about that. And I have to say, just say thanks to my teacher, Katina Raphael, in Hawaii, which taught me about crystal healing. So I just want to say a thankful note to her.
How long does it usually take a person to go from one level to the next? Like if someone had no experience with crystals, they heard you speak, or they went to your website and they said, you know what, I'd like to learn from this lady how to help other people and how to help myself. How long would it take them, Marguerite, from the time they started to the time that they went on to the next level?
You see, if somebody came and said, I'm ready to do it, there's a past connection with that person. I know in my own journey that all the people who come to me, I have a connection with them from maybe other lifetimes, and we have been together before. So there is a preparation ahead of time, even ahead of this lifetime maybe. So some of the people that comes, they said, I'm doing this, and they move fast. Other people take years. So it's really up to the person and what they have actually in the skills they already have. But for example, the first course, the beginning crystal healing course, is a 5-day course where we take off the outer baggage and the backpacks and the many suitcases and overcoats and the toques or whatever they're wearing energetically, and so that they come out after the 5 days and saying, I'm a new person. That's really what happens, because that's how powerful stones are. Then the intermediate course comes up, and then they practice that, and some also go to the advanced course. So it's a process of maybe from a year to 3 or 4 years. That's how long it can take them. And then my student, they are still very loyal. Beautiful work, amazing. I'm very happy.
You must have seen some fascinating transformations over the years.
Yes. There was one particular one. I received her in a crystal healing when I was still in Toronto, and she came and she had a problem with her knee, and anyway, so we worked on this, and then there was very odd energies, like a sinkhole, right? And then the healing went well, and then afterwards she shared with me that she had an experience of being on the battlefield in the, I think, Second World War or First World War or something, and that her leg at that particular knee was blown away by a landmine, and she connected with that previous person that she was, and then when she came off of the table, she didn't have that pain anymore. I mean,
wow.
That's amazing, you know.
It's
an energetic block that was lifted, and she had her own experience of a story about how that happened. So I don't doubt that.
Can crystals help people foretell what is going to be happening in the future?
Well, you know, you could see there is like several lines, right? So the people who are watching in the crystal ball, and I did a course on crystal ball gazing some number of years ago. It was really fun because everybody can do it. But you see, you have to have the basic understanding that all times are happening at the same time. It's only in the third dimension that we have a timeline, right? And so there is many parallel realities going on at the same time, you know, if you think about the movies Matrix and stuff like that. And it's some truth to that. So foretelling the future, I don't do it. I just, if somebody asks me like that, I could say that, you know, let's see what it is, and then we work with that person and say, okay, what's your block now? And then working through that block, and then they see for themselves. And that's the key here, that I really would prefer that the person themselves have the experience and can see, oh, yeah, that's what I need to do. My goodness, I have to go that way. So then they are helped, right, because they have been empowered. I haven't just told them what to do. They have decided for themselves, and that's the best healing.
Margherita, please stand by, my dear. You and I have to take our final break. X-Zone Nation, what an interesting lady. When we come back from this commercial break, I'm going to be talking to Margherita about the courses that she gives and also the books that you can take the first step. And once again, her website. It's a wonderful site full of information. www.thecrystallotus.com. Once again, that's www.thecrystallotus.com. Margherita and I come back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
19 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check. Officers on the scene.
Hi, I'm Larry Lawson, host of Paranormal Stakeout. With over 36 years in law enforcement, I have learned a few things. The most important is the proper gathering and preservation of evidence is vital to putting the bad guy behind bars. It's no different in the world of paranormal investigation. Whether it's the search for the afterlife, cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, how we gather the evidence, preserve that evidence, and present it to a jury of our peers will make the ultimate difference in proving the existence of worlds and entities that are beyond our imagination. Join me, Larry Lawson, every week on Paranormal Stakeout when, along with my guests, we'll take a journey to prove with indisputable evidence what man has struggled to believe for centuries. Go to xzbn.net for the broadcast schedule and check me out at paranormalstakeout.com.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world.
Exonation, Margherita is my special guest at this hour. We've been talking about crystals. Margherita has a website, a very informative website, www.thecrystallotus.com. Margherita, what kind of courses can people find out about that you actually do in Kingston?
Most of my courses are in Toronto, but I also do retreats out here in my new place, Enchantment, in Kingston. So for the summer, I intend to be out here, and we're doing retreats on, actually, I said, crystal talisman, making crystal healing jewelry. And then we have a retreat going and learning about how to paint your chakras, how to learn about the chakras by painting and experiencing them. That's coming up in a week and so, and that's a fantastic retreat. And then in July, I have a crystal intensive retreat, which brings you fast to where you want to go. It's like a breakthrough course to bring you to your core. And, of course, the regular curriculum you can find on my website, which is crystal healing talismans, and crystal sphere massage, and other topics. There's a number of courses we have.
And, of course, you also have books available, the Crystal Lotus Handbook, the Crystal Lotus Tarot, and Healing Stone Guides. Crystal Lotus Tarot, is there a difference between the Crystal Tarot and the tarot that other tarot card readers use?
No, I based it on the Rider-Waite Tarot, of course, and my images are relating with resonance to the qualities of the traditional tarot. And my tarot is the major arcana, so I have a 22 card deck with the major arcana, and I've been asked to do the minor arcana eventually, but we will see. So, yes, you could use them exactly as a regular tarot. Mm-hmm.
What final words would you like to leave with the Exo Nation tonight, Margherita?
I would like to say that I am so grateful that you are listening to this topic, which lies so deeply in my heart. I came here in this lifetime to share about crystals and how can you use them. So, and when people are using them and being empowered, inspired by what I share in my books and in my courses at the shows, I am so grateful. So I would like to say thank you for listening.
Margherita, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. Let our listeners know what your website is one more time, dear.
Yes, it's www.thecrystallotus.com.
Exo Nation, a very special lady with a very special message. Visit her website, www.thecrystallotus.com. Margherita, until the next time you and I meet here in the X-Zone, take care of yourself, my dear friend, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us here in the X-Zone tonight.
And thank you, too.
Take care of yourself now. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Exo Nation, once again, Margherita has been our guest of this hour. Her website is www.thecrystallotus.com. That's www.thecrystallotus.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break in the news at 6.5 minutes past as the X-Zone continues right here from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My name's Rob McConnell. I'll be back after this news break. Don't go away.